Coming up on the National Rundown, the latest on the shooting at Fort Hood, the aftershock from the earthquake that shook Chile, and finally some nice weather for the weekend. All that and more coming up next.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Give up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Welcome to the National Rundown. I'm Stephanie Gano.
And I'm Allie Hodgson. A soldier has killed 3 people and wounded 16 others before turning the gun on himself yesterday at Fort Hood in Texas. All those wounded and killed were military personnel. The suspected shooter is Specialist Ivan Lopez. Lopez was being evaluated for post-traumatic stress disorder, but was not diagnosed with the illness.
Now let's go over to CBS reporter Bagad Shaban for more information on the shootings in Fort Hood.
The Army base is back open today after being put on lockdown for several hours last night. Investigators are still looking into a possible motive, but have not determined whether the shooter was targeting specific soldiers or if the attack was random.
We have an active shooter on Fort Hood.
Following the second deadly shooting rampage at Fort Hood in 5 years, military investigators are today interviewing family, friends, and fellow soldiers of Army Specialist Ivan Lopez. They're trying to figure out what set the 34-year-old off on a shooting rampage that left 4 dead, including himself. 16 others were injured. It ended when Lopez took his own life after an officer confronted him in a parking lot.
Seek shelter immediately.
Fort Hood's commander says doctors had evaluated Lopez, looking for signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. He was taking medication for depression and anxiety and claimed to be suffering from a traumatic brain injury. Officials say Lopez served in Iraq in 2011, but there's no evidence he was wounded there. The native of Puerto Rico arrived at Fort Hood in February.
Army officials say a preliminary check of Lopez's background revealed no significant criminal record and no ties to terror groups.
Possible extremist involvement is still being looked at very, very carefully.
The shooting brought back memories of November 2009, when Major Nadal Hassan opened fire in a medical building at Fort Hood, killing 13 people and injuring more than 30. The Pentagon instituted reforms to prevent future shootings, and now officials are trying to figure out how another tragedy has happened here.
Officials say those reforms also included the addition of training exercises specifically dealing with an insider-type attack on military bases. When questioned about the overall security improvements in the wake of this most recent tragedy, Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel said, quote, "Something's not working." In Fort Hood, Texas, I'm Bagad Shaban. Now back to you.
Thanks, Bagad. The Supreme Court allows more private money in election campaigns. The 5-4 ruling prevents any limits on the amount of money people can donate in total during one election season. However, the ruling also means that no candidate receives more than $5,200.
The General Motors Company has recalled 2.5 million small cars, leading to a lawsuit that could potentially land GM into bankruptcy. At least 15 lawsuits have been filed by companies who use GM products. Officials are raising questions about the Washington landslide, accusing loggers of Darrington, Washington, of potentially causing it. At least 29 people were killed and 20 are still missing. Those in Darrington say they take great pride in its logging tradition. The town does, though, have a history of landslides.
President Obama and his team celebrated Tuesday after declaring that more than 7 million people signed up for health insurance on the Obamacare exchanges before the midnight deadline. Still, administration officials were unable to answer key questions about the law and about the enrollment stats. Hobby Lobby, a craft store chain, is suing the U.S. government because they believe providing its employees with health insurance violates its owners' religious beliefs. Hobby Lobby's employee retirement plans had invested at least $73 million in drug companies that produce contraception and abortion drugs.
Officer Nicholas Malik has been cleared today for the fatal shooting of 21-year-old Andrea Rebello. The Hofstra University student was being held at gunpoint by Delton Smith when Malik fired, hitting Smith 7 times and Robbie Bello once in the head. Both died from their injuries. The transcript of lost Malaysian airline Flight 370 has been released. The transcript covers 54 minutes of the flight from its departure at Kuala Lumpur International Airport to its change of course as it approached its final destination.
A report by Senate Intelligence Committee concludes that the CIA has misled the government and the public about its brutal interrogation program for years. Current and former U.S. officials who talked about the report spoke on the condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the issue and because the document remains classified. The report describes previously undisclosed cases of abuse on CIA detainees.
And later we'll see what new actors will be featured in the upcoming Batman and Superman movie. Television and radio host Glenn Beck is being sued for defamation after calling a victim of the Boston Marathon bombings the money man behind the attacks. 20-year-old Saudi Arabia student Abdul Rahman al-Habari was injured at the marathon and later questioned by police and cleared of wrongdoing.
And now to Jeremy Rodriguez with our entertainment news.
Thanks, Steph. Zack Snyder's Batman Superman film adds 3 new cast members to the superhero mashup. Holly Hunter, Callum Mulvey, and Tao Okamoto will join Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman as new characters never before seen in the DC Comics universe. Oprah Winfrey's own cable network develops Tulsa, a 2-part miniseries starring Octavia Spencer. The actress will play a journalist investigating the 1921 Oklahoma race riots. Channing Tatum will be the first man to win a prestigious MTV award. The actor will receive the Trailblazer Award at the 2014 MTV Movie Awards for his unique and diverse path in the entertainment industry. Tatum will accept the award at the annual awards ceremony on April 13th at 9 p.m. Thank you guys, and back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jeremy. The FCC has ruled that the makers of Wi-Fi hotspots can expand their products to create faster connections in wireless network areas. This new ruling means wireless connections in public can happen in outdoor areas.
Local residents driving out of Colorado are now reporting multiple episodes of what they believe to be license plate profiling by police. Ever since the legalization of marijuana in 2012, multiple residents driving in other states have reported being stopped by police for no reason other than to have their car searched for pot. And now to Mike. Now Mike will talk to us about the dangers of electronic cigarettes.
Hey guys, how are you? Well, electronic cigarettes are really increasing in popularity these days, and people all across the nation are puffing away on these vapors. But recent statistics show they might be just as dangerous as cigarettes.
All right, so what makes them so dangerous?
Well, you see, the nicotine, it's a drug, and in the concentrated liquid form, in these devices, it can potentially be even more dangerous to the consumer.
So what happens to the consumers?
Well, the nicotine is poisoning people who come in close contact with it, and the Center for Disease Control has reported 215 cases within the month of February, 51% of which were children.
Wow.
Why would children be attracted to something like this?
Well, they come in a lot of fun flavors like banana, bubble gum, and spearmint, and it really attracts the kids, and they smell it, and they want it for their own.
Okay.
It's crazy.
A shame.
Well,
It is a
thanks
shame.
for all that useful information. I'm glad I don't
Hey,
smoke.
no problem, absolutely.
And here's Rebecca with the World News Minute.
A
A shooting at the Fort Hood military base in Texas took place yesterday, claiming 4 lives and injuring 16. The shooter, Ivan Lopez, was among the deceased. Cause of death was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Lopez, an Iraqi war veteran, was undergoing psychiatric treatment for depression and anxiety prior to the shooting. Northern Chile was hit by a powerful 7.8 aftershock late Wednesday evening. The aftershock followed the 8.2 quake on Tuesday and has claimed a total of 6 lives. Nearly 928,000 people have been evacuated and over 2,000 homes have suffered structural damage. The death toll of the Washington mudslide has risen to 30 people. The identities of 3 of the victims have yet to be determined as medical examiners are working tirelessly to identify the remains. That's all for World News Minute. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Rebecca. What's new in sports? Let's go to Samantha Pecoria with the latest.
Thanks, guys. Derek Jeter is not sure how he will feel on Tuesday when he begins his final season with the New York Yankees against the Houston Astros. Jeter announced in February that his 20th big league season will be his last. This will mark the end of his career, in which the shortstop was a 13-time All-Star and helped the Yankees to get 5 World Series titles. Talk show host and former football star Michael Strahan is talking about reports that he is expected to soon join the cast of ABC's Good Morning America on a part-time basis. The former New York Giants works for Fox Sports during the football season. He has also assured his viewers that the talk show is his top priority. Zombies can be found everywhere these days, and now they have even invaded Citizens Bank Park. The new zombie stuffed toys are equipped with Philadelphia apparel and toothless smiles. Although the zombies have made their appearance at the Majestic Clubhouse store and Citizens Bank Park, the Fanatic still rules with the new Fanatic Fun glasses. They have an iconic snout along with pink and purple eyebrows. They will be available all season throughout the stadium and will be a giveaway in celebration of the Fanatic's birthday celebration on May 18th. This has been your sports. I'm Samantha Pecorio. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Samantha. Now let's take a look at the weather with Anika.
Today was a beautiful day with a high of 64 degrees. Later on, we're going to drop into the lower 44s, and it's going to be a 90% chance of rain. Now let's take a look at our 5-day weather forecast. Tomorrow, we're going to see a 40% chance of rain with a high of 48 and a low of 47. It's going to be pretty steady throughout the day. Saturday is going to be really sunny. It's going to be very beautiful with a high of 57 and a low of 35. Sunday is going to be partly sunny with a high of 48 and a low of 24. Monday, we're going to see rain again with a 70% chance. It's going to be a high of 55 and a low of 52. Tuesdays, we're going to see all clear skies again. It's going to be a high of 57 degrees and a low of 41. Now let's take a look at our weather window. And I think it's safe to say that the snow is finally over. Today was a beautiful day. Although we had an overcast, it was still really nice out. Everyone brought out their flip-flops and their shorts and their short sleeve shirts. It was definitely an appropriate day to wear what everybody had on today. Okay.
You know, I'm just so glad to hear that the snow is finally done with. I was just so tired of it, and every time we thought it was done, it wasn't. It just came back. So it's good to know that it won't be coming any longer.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, I heard it's by the end of the next week it's supposed to be getting in the 70s, so I think it is safe to say that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Excited. Summer dresses, that's all I can think of.
Yeah. Well, that's all for your National Rundown. I'm Stephanie Gano.
And I'm Allie Hodgson. Thanks for watching.